thinking about this today. Actually, I was talking to my mom about it because I don't know why I have these episodes, and I didn't want to contribute it to the time that I had him, but I did time before, and it was short time. I did 2 years and 7 months before, and I mean, when I got out, I didn't have no issues, but the difference was I didn't even look back. I didn't even. Was that your phone?
Yeah, that was that was my phone.
Oh yeah, it came through my speaker over there. That's what it sounded like. I didn't even think about prison. It was like a forethought, and that's really what a lot of people do. You get out and you forget about prison. When you start to think about it, when you start to remember what you just went through, that's when it becomes depressing. And I really put myself through it because I talk to everybody still in there, but that's what keeps me grounded.
Is the guys in there that keep you grounded because you know that you have to make a difference out here for them.
Well, it's not just them. It's everybody. It's I mean, even my aunt who passed away.
Yeah.
I owe it to her. She would still be alive if I would have got out when I was supposed to get out. I know that. She died because basically the dander in her house, the cat litters. She had 56 cats and I think 10 birds.
Oh my gosh.
But nobody was cleaning it. I mean, it was nobody's responsibility, but I would have cleaned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was sick, but nobody could get her to go to the hospital either. She didn't want to, but something I'm certain I could have gotten her to do. So
Yeah.
I hold the DOC responsible for her death.
Yeah.
But this isn't about me, Pamela. I
know.
deal with me all day long.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just a thought I had, and it was a dream, and it was like,
That is a good one. It's like it's almost like you watched Jay's visit because that's what he was talking about yesterday.
really?
Dreams he had in his dream journal. Swear to
Wow.
God. Was that yesterday? Friday? Oh no, Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And what's funny is he doesn't realize how connected him and I are.
I am. When you said brought up the dreams, that's the first thing I thought. You two have some sort of connection.
Yeah.
Over land too. Over a distance. When you're in South Carolina.
North Carolina. North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah,
But that
it's
was
better than South Carolina.
the majority of our visit was talking about his dreams, and he writes them down. And he has a book that he looks into when he has a dream. Like the one he was telling me was of like a bumblebee, and certain things in your dream mean different things. And he was telling me all a bunch of types of different things mean different things, and all the things that are in this book. But he's very into the dream thing now.
Yeah. I've always been into the dream thing because back before he got incarcerated, and I don't know if he's told you, but back before he was incarcerated, I woke up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, called him crying. He answered the phone and he says, "Mom, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." He says, "Are you okay? You're crying." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I just had to hear your voice." He's like, I said, "I just had a bad dream." And he's like, "Okay, what kind of bad dream?" And it was really weird. I had a dream that he had died. It wasn't clear how he died. It was just clear it was either a drug overdose or he was shot.
All right.
And I found out about a year ago that at the same time that he had woke up in a panic that night, a bad dream.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
that connection there. So he knows I'm really big about my dreams and different things that come to me.
Well, that might have what got him started in it, because he's really into it now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the reason why I summoned you today is because I had a visit with your son Jay, and we went over some of those questions that I read on like Quora and Reddit. I don't know if you ever see those.
Every once in a while I do.
All right, a lot of them are prison questions, like
I,
what's the food like? What do I'm getting sentenced to this long. I got a week. What can I expect? It's it's crazy. There's even questions like, why are there so many prison questions on here? There's a few that are from the moms too. My son who went to prison. What can I do? What can I expect? My son's going to prison, and the one I thought I would ask first. This lady put right. My son got sentenced to 15 years in prison. He's 20 years old. I don't want him to feel depressed and give up. Is there anything I can do for him while he's in prison? I thought you and my mom could answer a question like that. Now, your son is sentenced to life without parole. That
that's
means
right.
that means as of right now, there's no chance of him going home, coming home. So obviously, no one can relate to that. No one can identify with that. I think it would be interesting and important for other people to hear because the moms is the one who gets affected, and if we know what we put our moms through, that may deter us from bad choices. At least it's my hope.
Yes. So the way I could answer that is that in my son's crime, the death penalty was on the table. First degree, capital murder. Both boys were pointing the finger at one another. The DNA shows what the DNA shows, and it says otherwise with my son. Other things have come to light, which we will expose later. Um, and my son was basically forced into taking a plea deal, second degree felony murder, DBI, also known death by incarceration in Pennsylvania. A lot of times, I had blamed myself for the longest time, thinking it was my fault. Where did I go wrong? If I would have stayed with my abuser, would Justin be a different person? I've often thought about that. No matter what, my son was basically wrong place, wrong time, and I'm going to stand beside my son. And even if my son did do this crime, I would stand beside him. As hard it may be for me to swallow and emotional. And one of the things I do with my son is I don't show emotion to him when I'm on the phone. I try to stay strong and positive.
You do. I've been on calls with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be hard. Yeah, I should have opened up, but this is probably going to be an emotional.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's emotional for every mother because that's your kid, right?
All right.
And you don't want your child hurt. You don't want your child going through that situation. But as mothers, we have to be strong and be there for them no matter what. Now they're going to go, 19 years old. Justin thought he was going to Crusader school, I think he calls it. Does he call it Crusader school?
I'm not sure.
Okay, he thought he was going in like he had to be the baddest guy. Justin when he
Oh,
first went in.
Gladiator School.
Gladiator, that's what it is, Gladiator school.
Yeah.
Justin thought he was going to Gladiator school and he had to be the biggest guy, the baddest guy in there. And he was constantly in and out the hole.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. Well, now he's been misconduct free 3.5 years, almost 4, which is really good. Now what I did in that aspect is when he went to the hole, Okay, mom only put $25 a month on his books. And I told him, I said, look, them guards are there to do a job. They may not be perfect. They might have a sick baby at home. They might have caught their wife cheating on them. Cut them some slack. Not all of them are bad. Not all of them. That way it put Justin in a better mindset. And I know that they're listening to the conversations. And I guess that's why when I go there, I get the utmost respect that I do. Because I try to stay on both sides of the fence there, even though I'm there for my son.
Right.
But I would, from keeping him from getting depressed, I would get him some books that he likes. Justin got into reading a lot. Law library. I mean, I don't know where her son's incarcerated at. Whether they're always on lockdown or what. I mean, it's very hard. But the only way I could put it is grab the bull by the horns and ride it, and just ride the wave with your son and be there for him. And he's going to need you, and he's going to get emotional, and you just have to suck it up, Buttercup. It's going to be okay. You have to, she has to tell him, hey, you're going to be the strong, she's got to be the strong person in the relationship between her and her son. And he's going to have his ups and downs. Justin has had his ups and downs. You know about Justin's ups and downs. I don't know if it's a seasonal thing or if it's just, because some people do have seasonal depression.
Yeah. I know he's he's at that time in his sentence that I've noticed and other people have noticed around 7 years, 8 years, you start to change. It's like mature. I guess it's like you start to realize life is different.
Yeah.
And you've probably noticed that with him too recently.
I have noticed that and psychiatrists are actually saying, and they're trying to use it now to where a mental state of a man's mind does not really mature until he's 25 or older.
Yeah.
So how can you take a young boy at 19 that's basically a child, and if you're using drugs, you might as well say he's even younger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they charge juveniles as adults, but they won't charge an adult as a juvenile. Yet, I mean, adults make juvenile decisions.
Yes, they do.
And at what point does somebody become an adult?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be really a number. You really can't put a number on mentality, because you can have a child's like mentality up until whenever, and a lot of it is biologists, psychologists, they say 25. That's when the mind really should be fully developed, according to them. Mm-hmm. So up until then, your mind is developing. So there's things you just don't get, you don't comprehend.
You can't. Yeah, and then when you go to jail too, you're being told, "Oh, prison's like this, prison's like that. Them guys are going to eat you alive." And the only thing I could tell her is to tell her son is get around the lifers. That's Justin got around the guys that had pulled a lot of time, and as you would probably know too, because you served a lot of time. Ground yourself with them lifers.
Yeah, get it around a good crowd, and that would be the lifers. They're the ones who look at life differently.
Because their life was taken.
Right. So they look at life differently. You really respect life and the world when it's taken from you. Just like the adage, you don't really appreciate something until it's gone. Imagine losing your life
Yeah,
or the world.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's tragic, and it's sad. My trip up to see Justin is a 9 hour trip. Roughly about 8.5, 9 hours. And I try to go up every other month to see him. I try to make it a point to go see him because his rehabilitation is my rehabilitation, but it's basically his rehabilitation. And a lot of people don't understand that when they walk away from their loved one, say their loved one was guilty of the crime, they walk away. They don't want nothing to do with them. They don't realize the harm that they're doing to that individual. I don't understand how some of these parents could just walk away from their child and not have no communication with them whatsoever and just act like nothing ever happened, act like that child never existed.
Yeah.
With Justin, Justin was my first child. He was Gary, Gary's my second child. Gary went into the military, but Justin was my first child. And, it's Justin saved me, from addiction as well. Right before I got pregnant with him, you know, um, I was a user and, I was like, oh, this has got to stop because I was pregnant with Justin. And I did, but his dad, his father did not commit. And I mean, it falls back on the parenting side, but then again, you can't, like Justin was an adult. He was technically adult, even though he was 19 when he went in and a user, but
But he wasn't in your custody at the time.
that's
And
right. He was not in my custody.
I'm sure things would have been different had he been. He was with
Hmm.
his dad. My first time going to jail was when I was with my dad, and he wasn't really in the picture. I could do whatever I want. So I understand what Jay went through. It's you don't have a guidance. You don't have parental guidance at an age where you should.
So when I moved the boys down here when they were very, very young, and basically during the summertime, they got to the age where they could stay home by themselves. Down here, I think it's what, 14 and 13, 14 years old, they could stay home by themselves. So 4 kids at home. Well, that's when Justin's father started having communication with them and started putting stuff in his mind, bad things, bad stuff about me. And you just don't talk bad about one another. And he had an agenda that he was trying to succeed. And I think it should be in the courts that if this parent talks bad about this parent, guess what? You're going to jail. You're going to serve some time.
There should definitely be something. I see that a lot. In fact, I mean now you're talking. There's a lot of things you brought up that I haven't talked to you about before. I went through that same thing. My dad, or my mom calls it, she brainwashed me, or he brainwashed me, and he
Yep.
used to say she is brainwashing me. But my mom didn't have any bad words to say about my dad, but my dad somehow convinced me that my mom was it's a different person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that should be outlawed because that does something, especially to a child.
Yep. So Justin got this theory and he says, I'm going to emancipate you. I want to go live with my father. And so we came to an agreement. I said, hey, how about you get to know your father and go live with your uncle, which is my brother. And my brother had 2 little small children, toddlers. And his dad was in and out, spending time with them, not spending time with them. Then his father up and left and moved out to Colorado because, smoking pot out there was legal. And then turn around, he moved back. He got back with his wife and he had 2 other small children. And but his dad was still using. And then of course, he was getting Justin to use too. And there was other drugs that were involved from my understanding. He would let Justin drink. So at 15, 16 years old, you're going to drink and party with your son. And then at 17, you're like, oh, no, we can't do this anymore. I'm throwing you out on the street, because he ended up moving in with his dad. I'm throwing you out on the street. And Justin went and lived out on the streets. And he was living from house to house up in Pennsylvania.
All right.
So
I remember that.
So and it's just my brother did everything he could, but he couldn't have that stuff around his children either.
I know. Yeah.
And Justin was given a choice to go back and live with his mom, or you go live with your dad. And he says, well, I want to go live with my dad because my dad lets me do whatever I want. And he went to live with his dad. And from that point on, Justin and I didn't speak for many, many years unless he needed clothes or something like that. And it was only fair. I had one child. Like I said, his dad had an agenda. I had one child. He had one child. So naturally, I dropped the child support. Then next thing you know, Justin gets in trouble with the law, this whole thing. And in the courtroom, I said, are you going to help with this? Because legal fees are not going to be cheap. And he looked at me and he says to me, he goes, he's your problem, not mine now. That's what he said to me. He's your problem, not mine. So I looked at him, I said a few choice words, which I'm not going to say on here because I still had Gary. And I told him, I said, one of the things I did say to him, I said, do you have any contact with him between now and high school? I said, you'll never see the day of light. And I said, after he graduates high school, you could have all the contact you want with him.
Makes sense.
But he done it to get out of child support. And that's a sad, sorry situation.
I've been there too. Gosh.
Yeah.
And this must be a common thing. This must be a really common thing. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk to Jay in prison. I don't really talk. I was in my cell, and I mean, the story is just all too familiar. And there's probably a lot of others that are going through the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is, they're corrupting, basically like your father and like Justin's father. They're the ones, hey, let's throw them in prison. They corrupted y'all's mind, and let's get you guys the help that you guys need.
The lack of paternal guidance.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Now when I see in prison are those kids because their fathers were in prison, so they grew up without a father, and it goes both ways. I mean, just because a father is present doesn't mean he's present.
Yeah. Well, you remember the big tattoo on Justin's chest, right?
Yeah.
He got that at 15 years old. His dad got him that. I mean, I'm not against tattoos and stuff.
But yeah, 15.
15 years old.
Should not take your son to get a tattoo.
Exactly.
Or introduce them to drugs.
Drugs and alcohol.
You can't be a friend. You have to be the father.
Yep.
And that's rough.
Yeah. So and people don't, and maybe we could do something else like that, like, try to help these young children, keep parents from talking bad about each other, and instead of like they need to co-parent. That's what they need to do.
It seems like it's easier said than done, but there should be some sort of court order. Because the court's already an intervention, an arbitrator. They're already a part of the family when it becomes a divorce. And if you watch it, those court cam TVs, you see a lot where the judge is just biased. They'll pick one side, and I've seen a lot of mothers get arrested in a courthouse because they're trying to protect their children, and the judge isn't in the household, so how can they even know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
that's there's a lot there's a lot that could and should be done when it comes to divorces and a child's upbringing, because the end result could be prison, someone's life being taken,
Yep.
drugs, weapons. I mean, they all go hand in hand. Robberies.
Yep.
I mean, Justin got in with a bad crowd, and everybody, when you're into drugs, and you're at that age, you're you're influenced, and you're an influencer. So, and it's sort of weird because you're trying to impress your friend, and they're trying to impress you, and really, what's going to happen is it's going to be a regret you look back on for the rest of your life.
Yep. And just like with like your situation and mainly Justin's situation, he regrets it. He regrets it every, and but you know, I could honestly say now our relationship is better now. It We were very close as he grew up. That closeness broke, but we have mended and healed our relationship since then. It hurts that he's in there. It hurts every day that he's in there. And I give him that full 15 minutes. When he calls me, I give him that full 15 minutes and let him vent. I vent to him. Of course, I don't show my emotions. I let him talk. And sometimes he'll call me 2 or 3 times a day. So you have to listen to them and vent, and then give them also what they need. That discipline. Like, hey, that's no way to treat somebody. I've raised you better than that. And Justin knows. And a lot of people think black, white, Mexican, like Justin loves everybody because that's the way Justin was raised.
Right.
He sees that everybody bleeds the same.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yep.
And mom is the only one who gets the full 15 minutes after a certain amount of time in. That's a good point you brought up. When you first get into prison, you still have a couple friends, girlfriends maybe, that stick around, maybe a couple years. But after a little bit of time, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, it's always going to be mom. Mom's going to be the only one left.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about and this might help, the lady that asked the question, how do you feel about the Pentagon or the website where women can write in to them? How do you feel about that? I mean, I've often thought about, oh, this would be a good idea for Justin.
What's it called?
It's called Pentagon, where you could, pen pals can write him. Females can write him.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they do it it doesn't matter how much time you have, whether it's a short time or um, lifers, it doesn't matter. Like if you're a lifer, it's for the life of that lifer. Short timers, I think maybe it's like a yearly subscription. So this mom's going to have to keep her son's mind busy. If he's 20 years old, she's going to have to keep his mind busy, especially if he doesn't have a girlfriend that he's talking to right now.
Or even if he does, it's unfortunately not going to last.
Yes.
There's really just, it's very seldom that you have a girl that sticks by. And I can't blame them. I can't fault them.
Yeah. And now Justin does have one girl that's true and true. That's his best friend. And she's been by his side. Oh, that's Justin calling in.
Talking about coincidences.
Incarcerated individual at SCI Housedale. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, Please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. To accept charges and consent to this recorded call,
This would be a good example.
Yeah.
2. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? I'm on a video Zoom with Mark here.
Are you?
Yeah,
Not just me. She's on the podcast.
I'm on the podcast. We're doing a podcast. Yes. So, how are you?
Doing good.
Doing good. You feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, I had to go in and vent to my celly a little bit.
That's fine. I did get a message back. I'll fill Mark in on that in a little bit, but I did get a message back, and he is going to set up something ASAP.
He didn't know.
Yeah, it was like he was blindsided. Like he was like the elf.
That's what I'm saying. If he would have did what he was supposed to do, he would have known. He wouldn't have been dumbfounded and said, "Oh well, we don't have enough to file a PCR." Yes, you do. Yes, we do.
I got it handled. I grilled his butt.
Listen, don't. I don't want you to ever think I'm taking it out on you or I'm mad at you. It's just I already got bad experience with lawyers. With lawyers, man, and it's just like it's like I got PTSD with attorneys.
I know. Hey, we're on a podcast, so try not to.
No, he can cuss.
Yeah, Mark says you can cuss. I know that you're never going to be mad with me, and I understand the frustration. The only thing I could do is let you vent, and as a mother, I understand.
Yeah, I know you do, Mom. It's just like when there's lack of communication, like not on our end, but I'm saying like it's I don't know, Mom. There should be communication. Like, all right, like let's say you have an attorney, you have a capital case. Well, you have a different penalty phase counsel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your trial counsel should be working with your penalty phase counsel. Your attorney should be working with your private investigator. There has to be communication, because without effective communication, you don't have effective representation.
That's yes. Well said.
Did you hear, Mark?
Well said.
Well said. That's right. So we got you. I mean,
yeah. Tell him not to stress. There's always road bumps in this.
Yeah.
And these attorneys, gosh, it's like every conversation, it always is about an attorney. I
was up there telling my celly too, and I was like, and it makes you think. Like, I'm not saying all of them are like it, or that, right. I would never put that on people, but it's like, some attorneys do get over on people. Some attorneys are in it for the money. They're not in it for the well-being of their client or for what's right or wrong or the truth or, their oath, right? So, and I'm like, well, people were a lot more educated than they were.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Houtzdale. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
And even in today's world, if attorneys are getting over on educated and, people that, have access to money or not even just access to money, but can maybe pay for an attorney and stuff like that. Imagine how maybe corrupt it was for people that were in impoverished situations or weren't educated or were late to the law 50, 60 years ago. Imagine how much these judges and district attorneys and lawyers were getting over on people then, people that didn't know. They didn't know. They were too poor to even go to school or to, it just makes your mind like turn, like it makes your mind spin crazy. It's like,
well, just like the Kids for Cash, Justin.
Yeah, the Cash for Kids.
Cash for Kids, yeah.
I know, but imagine what it was like 60 years ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
This is all stuff I was just talking about today.
People didn't know that their rights were being violated because they weren't educated enough to know that their rights were being violated. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And without knowledge, there's that possibility that you may get taken advantage of.
As we did the first go round. Right? Mm-hmm. So, and I can understand why you have that PTSD and
I mean,
stuff.
I wouldn't say it's PTSD, but it's definitely trauma. It's anxiety. Like it's like I don't trust attorneys because of the situation. It's just
Yeah. And this situation is a very delicate situation.
and it's like you pay